Hey folks, Leave it here once again. Welcome back to another review. Hope you enjoyed my yesterday. Enjoyed my review slash epic rant on RoboCop 2014 remake. Awful movie. But anyway, guys, just keep on subscribing. I know I lost the sub. I'm 174 now, but still, we're still getting close to 200, guys. I'm not giving up, guys. I'm not quitting. If I don't do a video, guys, just remember I'm tired. I do work during the week, not very much hours, but still, sometimes I just like to lay down and relax, watch TV. Sometimes just to chill for a day, relax. Well, like today I had to go to Walmart. Uh, Live in South Carolina. I went to Planet Comics today, and they had some cool movie posters. I didn't get them, but maybe next time I'll go there and get some movie posters and maybe do a video about it. Who knows? But anyway, on my YouTube channel, guys, remember it's the Mask profile picture. The other one is the Batman profile picture. Do not Batman Mask of the Phantasm profile picture. Do not subscribe to that one. You can watch videos on that channel, but don't subscribe. But anyway, guys, what I've been doing is a superhero marathon on my YouTube channel. I've been doing what I call the 2010s era of superhero reviews. I just repeat this just in case anybody's first time watching my video or my new channel here. I just want to explain the kind of videos I'm doing. That's why I say this every time. But like I said, just so people will know if the first time watching the video or what videos I'm doing on my channel here, just to explain it. But anyway, like I said, it's a superhero marathon I'm doing. I've been on what I call the 2010s era of superhero movies, which is reviews. That is superhero movies that came out in the 2010 decades, that is 2010 to 2019. And I am on the year 2014. This movie came out on April 4th. This is a 2014 superhero film that is the second Captain America movie. It's the sequel to the Captain America, the first Avenger. You can say it's the second installment in the Captain America trilogy. And it is the ninth film in the MCU, directed by the Russo brothers, Anthony and Joe Russo, and stars Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Robert Redford, and Samuel Jackson. And that is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. This movie was awesome. Let me say that right off the bat. I freaking love this movie. This was great from start to finish. This is one of the best superhero films, and one of the best super. I put this up there with Spider-Man 2. No, I don't think Dark Knight was only the only great thing about that movie was Heath Ledger. That was it, in my opinion. Other than that, this is better than Dark Knight trilogy, in my opinion. At least Chris Evans looks awesome in the suit. They give him a bit of a new suit in the movie, which is cool. I mean, come on, the movie also has one of the best Marvel posters ever. This is definitely one of the best Marvel movies ever. Along with Spider-Man 2, like I said, X2, X-Men United, X2, X-Men United, Spider-Man 2, Blade 2, great Marvel sequels in my opinion. Blade 2 is very underrated, but I know X2 and Spider-Man 2 get praised, but it's a shame too Blade 2 doesn't. Blade 2 is an awesome sequel too, in my opinion. I really love that sequel. Yeah. And Iron Man, the first, it's like Iron Man and the Avengers. It's one of the best MCU movies ever, in my opinion. Best Marvel movies ever. Yeah. But yeah, this was great. This was a really awesome movie. So let me get into the production of the movie, talk about the cast and marketing a bit for the movie and the cast and who who worked on the movie, the plot synopsis, talk about the story itself, the movie itself, and then maybe we should, of course, give you my final opinion on this video, on this review. And this is a revisit review, by the way. I reviewed this movie about 9 years ago. That's when Avengers: Age of Ultron came out. Yeah, that was just this. I reviewed this when I was just starting out on my YouTube channel. So, but for the production, Kevin Feige, producer of the movie, says we heard our directors are capped on cap because they loved our explanation that we really want to make a 70s political thriller masquerading as a big superhero movie, just like with the first film. We got Joe Johnson because we said we wanted to do a 40s World War II movie masquerading as a big superhero movie, but it was a World War II movie, and you get the basics. The first movie, you start off with the origin of Captain America, and here you do get a lot more Captain America in action and stuff. The first movie was just a World War II movie, and it was the origin of Steve Rogers becoming Captain America. Yeah. But we already have that, so we don't have that in this movie. And as a sequel, you got to change things up, and they do. It does feel like a political spy thriller. Yeah. But with the sequel, you got to go in a different direction with it. They think that, you're trying to make it bigger and better than the first. I love that we're doing a sequel to a film that's completely different genre than the first film. I think that's fun. And the comics do it all the time. In April 2011, before Captain America: The First Avenger was released in theaters, which came out July 22nd, I believe, in 2011, Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFlay announced that Marvel had already hired the duo to work on the film's sequel. June 2011, Chris Evans, who betrayed the character, Captain America Steve Rogers, said that the sequel might be released in 2014. Of course, he had a contract with Marvel to do movies. And, Chris Evans just got done doing the Avengers movie. In January 2012, Neil McDonough, who played Dum Dum Dugan, mentioned that a sequel will be filmed after the completion of Thor: The Dark World, which will likely happen before the end of 2012. But by March 2012, Marvel whittled down the possible directors for the sequel to three candidates: George Nefei, F. Gary Gray, and brothers Anthony and Joe Russo, which the Russo brothers were chosen. Walt Disney Studios announced the planned release of the sequel to the first Avenger on April 4th, 2014, said the second installment will pick up there after the first Avenger, where the Avengers left off. Steve Rogers continues to work with Nick Fury and Shield and struggles to embrace his role in the modern world. As later Rogers is swimming in, it's definitely a Captain America movie, you know. The first movie was a movie about the U.S. Army. This movie is about Shield. You will learn more about Shield. You will learn about where it came from and where it's going and some of the cool things they have. Gary withdrew his name from directing. I said, straight out of Comics, which he directed, which came out in 2015. The writing, McFeely said the writing began in the middle of 2011 around the release of the first Avenger. With him, Marcus Newling on hopes that there will be a second one, and we did a lot of just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what stuck. The first few months of writing were back and forth process with more, but after outline was finished, the story did not change much. The option to set the story in the present day, a present with the flashback elements from more period World War II stuff, decided to abandon the flashbacks as it became unwieldy. The film will be Cap versus the world we all live in today. While writing exercise comedy regarding the hero's time displacement, as Vargas considered the captain the most adapted man on the planet, the tone will be more grounded in reality. Despite the advanced technology to construct the fantasy elements from both the first Captain America and the Avengers, despite that, the comic book origins guaranteed that the film would have no verse multitude. They still proved a challenge in the role of Zola that had to be extremely rewritten to compensate how this grounded espionage thriller suddenly speaks to a halt and you switch gears really quick with the Ghost in the Machine. Then introduces more science fiction elements. Marcus and McFly wanted to adapt Ed Barger's Winter Soldier storyline from the comics. They described the tone of Cap's modern franchise, but it took the duo 6 months to convince themselves they could do it. Meantime, they're thinking they have progress from the war film until the first Avenger. The writers settled on the conspiracy genre for the screenplay. They studied movies like 3 Days of the Condor, The Parallax View, and Marathon Man as influence, feeling it better to avoid Captain America's trust issues and values in the new world he's living in. With Marcus saying, if you put that 1940s man present day, geopolitics, everything is going to seem like conspiracy. It's just going to seem dirty and underhanded and shifting. And people won't be telling the truth. 3 Days of the Condor was used as the main source of the script structure. Following the idea that the protagonist is being chased by a threat, they, along with the audience, only discover halfway through the film. Unlike Shane Black, there is no magic or anything in this movie, but unlike Shane Black with the directing and writing, the Russo brothers knew what the hell they were doing and gave us a good story. Didn't make any villains out of it. They didn't make a joke out of the villain. So the writers felt this approach was similar to how Stan Lee remembered Captain America in the 1960s and 70s. He's a captain dealing with all sorts of the same things that the country was dealing with, Vietnam, Watergate, and all that stuff. So he used to have opinions on that. That's playing the guy who's oppositely from the more black and white 1940s, this ultimate gray world that we live in. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige described the film as a political thriller, and the duo struggled to figure out a third act. Feige suggests that she'll be brought down and have Captain America fight the agency. The writers thought that this was a great story point. The official mainstream of Cap changed the world. Marcus even knows that the 1970s comics have similar conspiracies. The Hydra reveal made sure to include current characters among the undercover villains, as well as references to the comics such as Sola being kept alive as a machine. Feige stated that the political third nature of the film, saying, in our attempt to make all of our films feel unique and feel different, we're going down things like this, 70s movies that they mentioned, the Reagan era, that takes the form of Shield. Feige said that Steve Rogers will be paired with other characters from the Avengers like Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, Nick Fury, because unlike Tony Stark and Thor, who could return to their own supporting cast, Rogers had nowhere else to go. And it just made sense that he was the one that stayed with what remains of the Avengers at the end of the film. The writers considered including Clint Barton, who played Jeremy Renner, who played Jeremy and Thor, and of course the Avengers, but he didn't have enough to do. Something seemed like we were giving him short shrift, leaving all of his parts to be fulfilled by Black Widow. And Joe Russo, that Avengers schedule could not be worked out for him to appear, so I guess he didn't really have time to be in the movie. As to why Red Skull from the first one did not appear in the Winter Soldier, he explained, well, I know we have a guy in the computer, but the tone we're chasing was sort of the conspiracy thriller. Everyone to try around the movie such as could. And Briscoe, he's a fascinating character, and he didn't really fit for Cap 2, and especially because it was about the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. Certainly Hydra exists, and that's his legacy, but there's something interesting about the fact that his legacy outlived the Skull. And they're still dealing with the demons of it, but not necessarily him. Which makes sense. Yeah, there was no need for Red Skull in this movie. It kind of wouldn't make sense. You gotta have this movie has different villains, and you need that for a sequel. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes when you come back, you always gotta have a different villain in a sequel. Yeah. The exclusion of the passage Aeschylus 25:15, which is a Bible verse on Barry Tombstone, references the character Joe's Winford from the film Pulp Fiction, which Samuel Jackson was in. The pre-production by June 2012, the Russo brothers entered negotiations to write the sequel. Jackson was confirmed to him as, Shield leader Nick Fury. Speedy said that after watching the genre portraying season 2 final of the Community, which Joe directed, and for the additional ideas they brought to the story pitch, Joe Russo detailed that since that it was a political thriller, all the great political thrillers have very current issues in them that affect the anxiety of the audience. Thus, the brothers often include references to drone warfare, targeted killing, and global surveillance. Joe even noted that how, in terms of photography, the issues became more topical to the disclosure of several national security agency surveillance related documents. At the 2012 San Diego Comic Con, it was announced that the title for the movie for the sequel was Captain America: Winter Soldier. The Russo brothers would direct the film. After signing on to direct, the Russo brothers met with Ed Wagner to learn more about where the Winter Soldier character came from, thinking and themes behind the character. In 2012, Anthony Mackie, in his first appearance in a Marvel movie, this is the first one, comes to play Sam Wilson, uh, aka Falcon, alongside Evans in the sequel. And Sebastian Stan, of course, comes in this movie to play Winter Soldier. Bucky Barnes, who died in the first Avenger. I'll explain all that later. In September 2012, Avengers filming will begin in March 2013. He also said that Rogers' adjustment to the modern world, which was said to be included in the Avengers, will be better suited for the Winter Soldier. At the end of the month, the Great Cleveland Film Commission announced that Captain America and the Winter Soldier will from Cleveland, Ohio. Production was approved for a $9.5 million tax credit. Producer Nate Moore said that after also filming location of the Avengers, Cleveland's government was helpful in providing large locations for filming. Briefly joked that while writing ambitious action scenes, I did not realize the great American would say, sure, shut down 3 miles of freeway and go to town. By October, Emily Clark just some actress was considered love interest. Scarlett Johansson brought back to respect her role. Later in the month, you have Frank Grillo was tested for the role of Barack Obama in the film, and by the end of the month, they portray the character, and Kobe Smulders signed on to come back for her role as Maria Hill from The Avengers. Haley Atwell, who played Peggy Carter, said that she would not appear in the sequel. However, Stanley Tucci, who played Dr. Einstein in the previous one, who, made gave Steve the super soldier silver, made him Captain America. They would appear in flashback scenes. Yeah. Emily Van Camp entered negotiations to play a female lead in the film, which was Sharon Carter. Karen Gillan also auditioned for the role of Sharon Carter, but she didn't get it. But she did become Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy, the first Guardians of the Galaxy, which came out in August of 2014. Robert Redford and Chelsea joined the cast as a high-ranking member of S.H.I.E.L.D. as secretary. Captain America's uniform was altered from the one seen in previous films. They based a component that would protect Captain America, but at the same time, it's like a military uniform. Joe Russo said, "We wanted to use his super soldier outfit from the Steve R. Super Soldier series as a way to represent his place in the world of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the difference between working for S.H.I.E.L.D. and being Captain America." For the Falcon costume, the filmmakers were interested in a more technical design than was represented in the comic books, by including rubber webbing, straps, and gear, and stripping away the more comic book elements. Filming began on April 1st, 2013, April 1st, 2013, at the Rough Manhattan Beach Studios in Los Angeles under the working title Freezer Burn. They were filmed in places in Commander, Long Beach, California. Don McCrew confirmed he would return to inspire his role as Howard Stark from the first Avenger in the film, more like in a cameo. Gary Shandling was spotted on set inspiring his role from Iron Man 2, the role of Senator Stern. Filming in Cleveland began on May 17th. It was scheduled to last until June, mid-June. Yeah, and they shot the film like at Cleveland State University, Cleveland Public Library, Cleveland Arcade. Yeah. Trent Oblush, best known for working on District 9 Elysium, was brought into the director of photography for the movie. Uh, they kind of did break it. They had Elliot Hatwell, but they changed the face a little bit. As you can see, that's her there. And then the CGI version, you can't see it well, but you know. This thing photography was filmed in December 2013, January 2014 for the Russians to show the state of character after the defeat of the Shield, having read the script for Avengers of Ultron to guide their choices. You had Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson. Taylor Johnson, who's been in Kick-Ass 1 and 2. And, of course, Aaron Johnson, the year before, they were in the Godzilla 2014 movie. It came out the same year. But I hate that movie. But they were, yeah, setting up for a sequel. Thomas Bridgman as Baron Wolfgang von Stroker. Yeah. The hell characters in the film were completely digital, CGI. 350 different versions of the film were made for the different formats that will be released domestically. The versions had to be completed in 17 days. Yeah. And then the film was done being made. Yeah. But of course, the sequel was going to happen. For the marketing, though, you had the trailer, you had TV spots. Yeah. I think I do remember one of the posters for Winter Soldier. Yeah. Jackson, Johnson Evans, and the Russo brothers promoting the film in Paris. Yeah. You did have a commercial with kids like pretending to be Captain America and Nick Fury, just to market the movie. And I think you had like a Super Bowl trailer too. Oh. I'm not big into football, but I do like when they play trailers. They use football, for Super Bowls to market their movies, market films. Chris Evans at the premiere of the movie. It was released on 13 markets on March 26, 2014, and worldwide here in the U.S. on April 4, 2014. The movie did, I think, get good reception from critics. Yeah. Well, the film received positive reviews from critics with praise for the performances, action scenes, storyline themes. It was nominated for Academy Award for Best Visual Effects. It grossed $714 million worldwide. Captain America: The Winter Soldier became the seventh highest grossing film of 2014. And you got a sequel in 2016 that was Captain America: Civil War. Yeah. And for the cast of the movie, you have, of course, Chris Evans coming back as Steve Rogers, Captain America. He's an Avenger and a World War II veteran that's been asleep for 70 years. Came back to fight with the Avengers. And, I'll explain more about the character later. But Chris Evans, he has worked with Marvel way before this, way before Captain America Avengers, of course. Of course, once again, he played Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch, in Fantastic Four 2005, and in the sequel, uh, Fantastic Four 2007, Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, which came out in 2007, and then he was Captain America. Yeah. And I think he also had a small part in Deadpool versus Wolverine, and of course, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Captain America: Civil War, uh, Infinity War, and Endgame. Yeah. And of course, he voiced in the TMT 2007, the CGI animated Ninja Turtles film. He voiced Casey Jones. He was in a movie called Cellular. Really underrated thriller. I love that movie. Cellular is a really good film. And Scarlett Johansson as Natasha Romanoff Black Widow. She's an Avenger and a trained spy. And this is her third time being in a movie, being in an MCU movie. Scarlett Johansson's third time because her first appearance, of course, was Iron Man 2, then the Avengers, and then this movie. Yeah. But I remember her basically like in Home Alone 3, yeah, awful movie. Yeah, she was in Home Alone 3, Eight-Legged Freaks, but I like that movie. And of course, what's the character named Mindy in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie? Yeah, and I think she also did. Yeah, she voiced Ka in the Jungle Book 2016 remake. Lucy, she was in that movie called Lucy. Yeah, always loved her as an actress. So good actress. So Eight-Legged Freaks is a really enjoyable movie. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson is a very beautiful woman, beautiful actress, and a good actress as well. Yeah, Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes aka he's the Winter Soldier. He reprising his role from Captain America: The First Avenger. Can't think of any other movies I've seen him in. But of course, he would go on to be in the other Marvel movies as well, like Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, and The Falcon and Winter Soldier. Is he going to be Captain America: The Brave New World? Uh, I guess not. But he's going to be in Thunderbolts, which I'm not too sure about that movie. Yeah. Logan Lucky, Hot Tub Time Machine, he was in that. And Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson Falcon. He's a former U.S. Air Force petrolman, trained by the military in aerial combat using a design. He has designed wing pack. He can't fly, but the mechanical wings he uses is why they call him the Falcon. Anthony Malcolm, he was in the Hurt Locker, Notorious, uh, Real Steel with Hugh Jackman, of course. Hugh Jackman, who is Wolverine in Marvel. Pain and Gain. I didn't like that movie first, but I recently watched it in December, and it was a really enjoyable movie. Eagle Eye, he was in that. Shia LaBeouf was in that. Uh, Triple Nine, Captain America: The Brave New World. Of course, he's gonna be an executive producer in that movie. That's a cool poster, but I'm not too sure about that movie. Oh, it's gonna be released next month, this year, February 14th on Valentine's Day. But this was Anthony Mackie's first time working with Marvel. First movie he did. And Kobe Smulders and Mary Hill, trying her role from the Avengers. She's a high-ranking SHIELD agent who works closely with Nick Fury. She performed some of her own stunts in the film, so yeah, she did some of her own action. I remember her in Delivery Man and Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. Yeah. And she did a voice for the Lego Movie franchise. I don't know who she voiced, but Wonder Woman, she voiced Wonder Woman in that. And Emily Van Camp as Sharon Carter, Agent 13, a SHIELD agent assigned to guard Rogers without his knowledge. Yeah. And she will come back in Civil War. Beautiful actress. She was in Carriers, Norman, Black Irish, which I've never seen. No Good Deed from 2002. And of course, she did come back as Sharon Carter in Captain America Civil War. Yeah. And Haley Atwell comes back as Peggy Carter. Yeah, they reduced the aging through her CGI methods, Again, I don't care about Haley Atwell's Peggy Carter, but she was a military agent that, she was one of the, she knew Steve as Skinny Steve before he became Captain America. And Toby Jones is Armani Solo, a hydro scientist from World War II. Of course, describing his role from that. That he worked with, he was a scientist for Red Skull. Yeah. Jeannie Gordo as Holloway, a member of the War Security Council. I think this actress, she was in Child's Play 2 and An American Werewolf in London. And then, of course, the first Avengers as well. I don't think she did another MCU movie afterwards, but like I said, if you've seen American Werewolf in London, she was the nurse Alex Price. And in Child's Play 2, she was Joanna Simpson that adopted Andy. She also had an uncredited cameo, but she did have a cameo in Dark Man from 1990, directed by Sam Raimi. She didn't do no movies. I guess she's retired now. But it was good to see her in her good actress. So Paris Booth was in the first movie as one of the council as well, one of the you know the War Security Council as well. But I guess he passed away some time ago. Robert Redford is as Alexander Price, a senior official within Shield, member of the World Security Council, and old comrade of Nick Fury. Redford's been, I think he was also with Disney in the Peace Dragon remake, War Hunt. Yeah, I'm sure he was in a lot of movies, but good actor. Can't say I sadly have not seen him a lot, but Robert Redford, great actor in my opinion. He was great in here. Yeah, the film had a really great cast. Samuel Jackson, of course, comes back. As Nick Fury, Samuel Jackson's been in many movies like Star Wars trilogy as Mace Windu, Pulp Fiction, Snakes on a Plane, and of course, starting with MCU, starting with the first Iron Man movie and make cameo. Yeah, Jungle Fever. You know, he also had a, you know, he tries to rob McDonald's, or rocket McDonald's, whatever you want to call it, and freaking Coming to America. And he voiced Louis Best. He voiced Frozen in The Incredibles 1 and 2. And he was the villain in Kong Skull Island, the main villain in that movie, and Kingsman: The Secret Service, the villain in those movies. Valhalla with the Adventures of Bruce Willis, but Samuel Jackson, great actor. And a lot better in here than in the RoboCop remake, which came out the same year as this. A lot better. Because he actually gives a great performance and he actually cares. He's not just doing it for a paycheck. Uh, Maxwell Hunters, as far as his role in here, as one of the Hydra leaders, guys or whatever. Of course, he was in the Avengers. Gary Shandling, I think, who died in 2016. A couple years later, he was in Iron Man 2. Jesper Stilwell, George St. Pierre, some other great cast people as well. We're in 2016. Okay, sorry. The film is directed by the Russo brothers, Anthony Joe Russo. They directed Captain America, also Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, say what you will about them, even if you don't like, if you're not big on Civil War or Infinity War, and there's some people who don't like anything in that movie, but despite that, Endgame, they're great movies in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, they gave me the movie, Merry Freaking Christmas. They were actually producing that movie. Uh, they directed You Mean Dupree. Okay, I love that movie with Owen Wilson and Kate Hudson and Matt Dillon. Seth Rogen. Yeah, that's a great movie. I love that film. That's a funny movie. I didn't. I guess I forgot that they directed that. That's a great movie too. 21 Bridges they worked on. That was starring like Chadwick Boseman. Yeah, but I see why Marvel kept on bringing them back because they made a great movie here, so they probably knew that they were going to make a great film. Christopher Marcus and Steve McFly, they wrote the script for the movie. They also wrote scripts for Captain America: The First Avenger, the Chronicles of Narnia movies. Uh, I guess the first one and Prince Caspian, and the Chronicles of Narnia movies, which I think I'm not big fans of them. But anyway, Captain America: The First Avenger, Pain and Gain, they wrote the script for that. Thor: The Dark World, this movie, Captain America: Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame, and they're gonna also write the scripts for Avengers: Doomsday. I'm sorry, well, I guess I don't know if they're gonna direct it or whatever, but I mean, if the Russo brothers are gonna direct those movies, but I don't think you need any more Avengers movies. Anyway, based on Captain America by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby, who created the character. Produced by Kevin Feige, has produced all of the MCU movies. Still does to this day, and now with Iron Man, starting with Iron Man. Cinematography is by Trent Oblish. I'm sorry. He did cinematography for Chappie, Captain America Civil War, and Infinity War and Endgame. So he knows how to really, in my opinion, he knows how to edit good action scenes. Music's by Henry Jackman. Yeah. He's done music where he's worked with Hans Zimmer, like on films like additional score. He's worked with like Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chance, World at World's End. Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. The music score for that. John Powell, he worked with him. Yeah, on X-Men First Class, uh, Link the Vampire Hunter, and Captain America: Civil War. Uh, Kong Skull Island, Puss in Boots, Monster vs. Aliens, Captain Phillips, Wreck-It Ralph. He did the music for The Interview and Pixels. Yes, I love that movie. And Big Hero 6. He did the music score for that. That's another superhero movie that came out in 2014, but that was in November. Definitely gonna be doing a review on that. But anyway, production companies are Marvel Studios. Sorry, sometimes I just talk about things or just go over my videos. Sorry. Production companies are Marvel Studios. Studio Drive Walt Disney Pictures Studios. It was released April 4th, 2014. The movie is 136 minutes long, about 2 hours and 16 minutes. The budget was 170 or supposed to be $177 million. And the box office made $714.4 million worldwide. So the film was a hit. And I will say, after the Avengers, this is definitely one of the best. This was another great Marvel movie after the Avengers. I didn't care for Iron Man 3. I liked Thor: The Dark World, but it wasn't great. It's a good movie though. It is an underrated movie. and it's better than Thor: Love and Thunder. But that movie, the story wasn't the strongest. The story was good, but I thought this film had a better story, especially more than Iron Man 3. Yeah, this is what Iron Man 3 should have done. You know, have a good story. But anyway, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, well, and this is definitely better than Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3. I still like Iron Man 2 though, and Thor: Dark World, but I would say this one was better. I like it more than the first Avenger, but still a good movie, and the first Thor movie as well. Sorry, but that's just me. But anyway, the story for the movie, it takes place after the Avengers, where Steve Rogers is living in the world of today, and he's having to cope with that. He's having to deal with things on how to learn and catch up with the world. Basically, is what he's doing, and he still is Captain America, fighting with Shield as Captain America. But after the events in New York, he lives in the nation's capitals as he tries to adjust to modern times. He's trying to live in our world of today. And attack, but then there's an attack on Shield Kali that is Nick Fury. Fury who gets attacked and almost killed. Spoiler alert. There will be spoilers in this review. So if you have not seen Captain America: Winter Soldier, please make sure to always read the description down below in my videos because there are spoilers in the video. Yeah, I may have to start putting that right in the community post when I do stuff for next reviews, just to warn people ahead of time before watching the video. It throws Rogers to a web of intrigue that places the whole world at risk. He joins forces with the Black Widow, goes on the run with her as new ally, then a new ally called the Falcon, Sam Wilson, played by Anthony Mackie. Sorry. Rogers struggles to expose an ever-widening conspiracy. It's sort of a spy thriller film, but he and his team soon come up against an unexpected enemy known as the Winter Soldier, and that you realize that Shield is not really Shield. It's really the Shield is actually Hydra. That was Captain America's enemy back in the 40s when he fought the Red Skull. Red Skull is gone now. Well, in front of Infinity War and Endgame, he's in another reality basically. But anyway, they're still carrying on his legacy thanks to Dr. Sola, and they're planning to kill a bunch of people. And so Captain America has to fight his friend, fight Bucky, and also bring him back, try to save his friend, while trying to stop Hydra, trying to stop Robert, aka Alexander Pierce, who is, of course, the Hydra leader. And their weapon is the Winter Soldier, so they must have to stop them. They must have to save the world from Hydra, who is trying to kill billions of people and create a new world of sorts, a new world order. And Captain America, along with Maria Hill and Nick Fury himself, and uh, Sam Wilson and Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, must defeat them and must take down Hydra for good. So that's the plot for you, right there. And I'll talk about the movie itself, then give you my final thoughts and opinion on the movie. Of course, they're going to be up against the World because of Comic Captain America and Soldier, so you got to figure that's who they're going to go up against. But what I love about this movie that it has an interesting story. I love that they went to a different direction with it. There's no magic or science fiction here. They went with a spy thriller. They just had to change it up. Not like Iron Man 3. This has a better story than Iron Man 3. It doesn't make the villain into a joke. You know, it's not like Robert Redford is, smoking weed and sleeping with girls and foolish and stuff. No, and he's not annoying like Guy Pearce. And there no Jim Carrey ripoff, so that's a plus. And yeah, the film just has a better story. And you see Captain America in the suit kicking ass. You get that with Thor too, but you get Cap in the suit mostly in the movie. Some badass action scenes. Yeah, so take that, Shane Black. Yeah. Anyway, the movie opens up with with the Marvel logo, of course, and it takes 2 years after the Battle of New York, with them defeating Loki. Steve Rogers, he continues working with Shield, but like I said, he's living the modern day world. He's having to learn things. He's got like a little diary of, you know, about food and music and trying to catch up with things in the world. And it's kind of not easy for Steve because he's not used to the way the world is now. Because a lot of people he knew in his past are dead, and he's been asleep for 70 years, so it's a whole new world for him, and he has to learn to adjust to it. But anyway, we see the opening of the movie, and he meet Anthony Mackie. He's like, dude, you just ran like 13 miles, and he tells him, Sam Wilson, Steve Rogers, they meet each other, they get along right away. And he says, well, maybe you can come down there. He's like, he's like, I'm a veteran too. I was he's like part of the Air Force. I did a lot of flying for them. And, I talked to vets that are going through hard times, PTSD. Maybe they could see you, Steve. So down like, okay, interested. He's like, if you want to listen to music, Marvin Gaye music, I think that was the Marvin Gaye guy that singer that got shot by his dad, right, in real life, shot by his father. Yeah, but anyway, he's like, good, got that down. He's like, well, we don't have to boil food here anymore. Food is much simpler to cook now. Yeah, he's just taking a morning jog around Washington D.C. Of course, Washington D.C. That's a perfect place for Captain America to live. Sam Wilson is a United States Air Force trooper who now works as a counselor at the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Yeah, and even Wilson has just life too because things aren't easy for him as well, like working and getting a job and difficult working. Life for them is a little difficult. But then you have Natasha Rose take Rogers. She's like, "Hey boys," she's like, "Hi," you know. He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Any of you see an old man that I need to pick out of his ice cave or something like that?" She said something I thought that was funny. He's like, "Good one." And they have a mission to go to. There's this. They have to rescue these hostages at the Lemon Store, and one of the agents, says, "Yeah." And again, she even looks more hotter in this movie. Yeah, you get the poster of her with the guns, but she looks like the most sexiest in this film, I think, or I would say Civil War. Yeah, I don't mind her hair being a little short. She looks beautiful in all the movies. But I don't like her having blonde hair in the Infinity War movie. But she looks gorgeous in all of the movies. But I think Winter Soldier is my favorite, or Iron Man too. But she looks beautiful in all of them. Anyway, these pirates get led by George Patarga, Roger Romanoff, and Brock, who tells him how to do it, and Cap's like, and her captor's like, so Cap, you hang out with your friends? Like, well, all my friends are dead. I don't have nobody to hang out with no more. And like, what about that girl, that neighbor? Is like, no, I don't see anybody right now because he's still, like Peggy, and you get to be with Peggy. So everything about dating, he's like, and Steve just says, I'm just too busy, and he's got his new Captain America suit. This is what the new one kind of looks like, a little more dark blue, a little more change to the helm, the mask, and Cap jumps off the plane. He's like, he's got a parachute? Nope, he just never need one. The Cap jumps on the plane. I mean, I'm sorry, the yacht. And some awesome, you get to see him, hit some guys with shield. With his shield, he's hitting his shield, throwing his shield a couple times, which you want to see from Captain America. Like I said, some awesome. The editing, I do think, could work a little better. It is a little choppy in certain places, but don't get me wrong, the action sequences are still good. I just think you need to, you know, it's good to get more action though, so I'm not complaining too much. But again, with Captain America, he's a super soldier, so maybe you have to expect a little fast every now and then because he's a super soldier. He hits really quick and hard. When Cap fights, he fights real fast and quick. So he's a super soldier still. He still has the, you know, this part of his super strength. But anyway, he's throwing a shield. One guy tries to escape up toward Captain America, like throws a knife in his hand, knocks him out. One guy, yeah, and they're trying to take one out. Cap comes in, throws a shield on the window, knocks some guys out. He sees Natasha. He discovers that Romanoff has her own secret mission from Director Stick Fury. Her mission is to extract the shield intelligence from the ship because Cap fights this guy, takes his mask off. Cap's like, hustle myself. Say, so you're just a shield. It's like Cap takes his mask off and puts the shield on. I was like, we'll see. Cap fights him. Cap kisses his ass. He's like, Natasha, what are you doing? He tells that she's trying to get these secrets, intelligence from the ship onto the UV to this drive. Or just like our mission is to save the hostages. That's it. Well, you have your mission on my mind. I'm like, but I do like the scene though where she comes in. She's like, hi, and she shoots this one guy. She puts a rope on his neck. She, on her, puts the rope on her back with the guy's neck attached to it. Neck on it, jumps down, pow, 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 and these two guys try to see her. This body right there. She, pow, 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 shoots them, and there's some good action there. But after that's all she has with Cap. Some guy tries to throw the grenade. Cap gets a shield with it. You know, protects her from getting hurt. Fights a little bit more guys. They save the hostages. So that was a good action scene. Rogers is angry about it. He still works with Shield. I would say he's kind of friends with Fury, but he doesn't really trust very much because they both have the same goals to protect the world. They just have different methods of doing it. Rogers is angry. He's like, "Why didn't you tell me this? How should I do that?" Well, it's not my place to tell you. It's not your business to tell me, Captain. It's just my. I'm the director of Shield. I'll have to explain things to you. And he's like, when it becomes the hostage being in danger and you're willing to risk them, I don't take that risk. That's just not me. Yeah, because Captain America is very patriotic. He is a heroic man, and he prefers to save people. And it's not a trust though that he takes Captain America. He takes Cap to his basement where they introduce Rogers to Project Insight. It's these three next generation of Shield carriers that will be launched into the air and committed to patrol satellites at 300 feet into the air to neutralize enemy hostile targets. But Fury tells Rogers that Shield takes the world as it is, not as we like it to be. But Rogers responds that this isn't freedom. This is fear. You're basically taking freedom away from people by you're scaring them. Rogers is wrong. He fights for freedom. Not trying to put fear into people, and that's what Shield is doing. Even though Nick Fury believes what he's doing is right, and he does. He just does things that are questionable. You know, they just both men just have a different points of view. You know, on things. But later, though, Roger visits, the Captain America exhibit. He just like goes there, and you see Dum Dum Dugan, like replicas of them and videos. They have pictures of them now. It's like a museum now. And this boy sees Captain America, sees Steve, and recognizes him. He's like, he's telling me to go ahead. He's like, in respects, and yeah, watches the videos, of him and Bucky and Mrs. Bucky. That Bucky's going now, and Peggy as well. He later visits Peggy, who has gotten to be an old woman now, elderly Pegger, elderly Peg. And I do feel sorry for Steve almost losing her, even though it was fine. Peggy was just the one to see the movie. Again, I don't like Haley Atwell at all as Peggy Carter. I don't care for that character at all. But at least I have Black Widow Maria Hill in this movie, and I do love Maria. I love the actors Kobe Smulders and Scarlett Johansson. At least I have them. Shoot, make them one of the love interests for Captain America. That'd be more interesting. Or Emily Van Camp, the new actress they put in here. Yeah, he talks to her, and she's like, "Steve, it's been a long time," and she's coughing. And she's like, I think she has like Alzheimer's. She's like, "Steve, we lost you a long time ago." Open fine. He's like, "That's my girl. You can never lose my girl." And that was kind of a sad moment because Steve never got to have a life with her, never got to have that one dance with her because of what happened going into the ice. Later though, you have Fury discovers that I like the scene though when they're in the elevator. He tells him about his grandfather, saying that, well, my father, my grandfather, you know, he let the neighbor sit on his back, see a bag. He's like, see some books, stuff he's got, and his 22 caliber gun. But anyway, you have Nick Fury. So that the day on the USB is uncorruptible and he can't get into it. He just has a needless J Fury, but it's not working. So he goes out as Alexander Pierce, who is just constantly meeting with the world. He's like the boss over him. He's like the secretary. He's having the meeting with the World Security Council about the hijacking of the Lumiere store. And he's like, well, I'm not really worried about that. They just talk political stuff. And Fury asks Pierce to make a formal request to the council to delay Project Insight due to Fury's rising suspicions why he can't get in. And he's like, okay, well, if you can invite Iron Man to my daughter's birthday party after birthday, he's like, okay, try that. But they're just talking about political stuff, saying that they can't trust the Avengers or Nick Fury's freaks. This is what they call them, you know. And it's for national security they're talking about here, and how they're going to keep the world safe. Then Fury leaves the trash can, leaves Shield headquarters to meet Maria Hill. I guess to maybe talk about her, what's going on up at Shield, that some suspicious could be happening. But he's pulled over a cop. He's like, "You want to see my license?" Not pull over, but he's just like, "You want my license or something?" And he drives off. He gets T-boned by another car, and these are assassins impersonating policemen. Or you could say they're working for Hydra. We don't know yet, but they're shooting at him. It's like his SUV is bulletproof. They're shooting at him. they're trying to, it's something that cops can use like a closed door open. They try to do it to the car. They do, but Fury's able to use the car's like a machine. He's a machine gun. The car can drive automatically by itself, and he's like shooting him, and the action just keeps on going on and on. And some cops shooting behind him. Nick Fury, puts the puts the car in reverse, knocks the guy, hits the cop, and then hits the car that hits the cop, and it's just action going on. And eventually, he runs into what you call the Winter Soldier. You know, he throws like a bomb under him, and the car explodes. Winter Soldier tries to find him, but Nick Fury is able to escape. He uses a high-tech device to cut through the vehicle and escapes into the sewers. Cap comes home, just driving home after a normal day. Normal day, like your life isn't normal. But anyway, Cap comes home. She says just relax, and he has his neighbor, who you find out is Emily Van Camp, aka Sharon Carter. But Cap doesn't know that, and he offers her to take her out for a cup of coffee, gets her a date, but she's like, no, I can't. He's like, no, I don't think we'd have room, but your music's been on, and Cap hears something that he hasn't played music at all. He thinks somebody's broken in to kill him, so he comes up with a shield, to attack. He sees there's a threat or somebody trying to attack him or whatever. Then he sees that Nick Fury. He's saying that Shield has been compromised. Trust nobody. Only you mean you know this. He tells him that his wife kicked him out. He's like, I know you were married. He's like, there's a lot of things you don't know about me. The story though is a misdirection because they're being eavesdropped on by Hydra. That Shield's been compromised. He's like, what can we do about it? Well, we gotta do this about it. All of a sudden, Fury gets shot, and he's shot by the one soldier. Yeah, and Captain America sees him. He goes chasing, grabs his shield, goes chases after the one soldier. Who doesn't know who? That's no idea who the guy is, but chases him first. Yeah, and he's able to get away. Captain America, Cap throws his shield at him, and the Winter Soldier catches it. Like that's a badass. He catches it and throws it right back at him. Steve catches it and just, you know. But Fury gives him this USB hard drive to Rogers. Tells him not to trust anyone. That don't trust anyone at the station, at the Shield headquarters. Yeah, yeah. The one that it's Agent 13 of the camp Sharon. She breaks in. Like, I'm sorry, but my job was to watch you by him. Then when Cap went after him, it didn't work. Fury gets taken to the hospital. Critical condition. His heart stops during surgery. So Nick Fury dies, or do we think so? But anyway, Nick dies, and they're upset by this, including Natasha taking it hard. And he's like, and Natasha's like, well, what did he want you for? What did he come to your apartment for? He want to talk to you about what? So I don't know. He's like, you're a terrible liar. And again, Cap's being told not to trust. Steve's being told not to trust anybody. That includes Cap and even Maria. Black Widow and Maria Hill. It's just that he doesn't know who to trust. That Shield is compromised. That somebody at Shield is pulling these plugs and try to kill him. And of course, he's the director of Shield, so somebody in the organization had to kill him, try to have him murdered for a reason. But Cap meets Secretary Alexander Pierce. They meet. Um, Rogers hides the drive in a vending machine and leaves. He gets questioned by Pierce. He's like, I'm one of Pierce's old friends. We were friends like since the 90s or whatever, 80s. When they met each other, they were like military buddies. I guess. I'm sorry. He's like, well, Captain America, what he comes to you for? He's like, I don't know. And of course, Robert Bradford doesn't believe him. But he's like, Cap, my friend just died and killed, and I will stop whoever did it. I will get this person for this, no matter who it is, no matter what. I'm gonna get him. And Cap understands. And he asks him again a second time. Are you sure you don't remember him? I think even Steve was suspicious. Like, I don't know. He didn't tell me anything. When he asked him for a second time, I'm sure Rogers felt him suspicious. And Rogers, of course, doesn't trust him as far enough to. He says nothing about the UPS driver, the Surface Superior's death. He leaves Pierce to go to the hospital. He goes in the elevator. Rogers is joined by Romanoff and several striker operatives, but he soon realizes they're capturing because he can tell because he looks at this one guy sweating, saying that something's going on, and all these guys just randomly show up, and Rogers like, before we do this, does anyone want to get out? And then he attacks thing. One guy like grabs his neck. Captain is kicks some guys. They try to put like a magnet, some kind of magnet on his hand. He's even punch a couple guys, knocks them all out. And Brock is like, this is not the personal Cap, and Cap is like, you know, throws him up to the ceiling of the elevator, knocks him out. He's like, yeah, I'm sure it's not the personal. Grabs his shield and he tries to get out, but more shield agents are coming, saying that Captain America is a threat now. They gotta arrest him. Tries to go down on the elevator. He punches the elevator to go more down. But then Marshall is coming, so he jumps out the front window. And they're saying, "Captain America, stop! Captain America, stop!" With the air carrier, the captain, those damages by throwing it. Jumps off his bike, you know, runs on it, and he throws parts of the shield at the helicopter. The air carrier, damaging it, blowing it up, and jumps right off like a badass, like almost like a bat out of hell. Then he drives on his motorcycle. Sorry. Oh, Quentin is the ship. Okay, sorry. I was just reading something. Hey, where was I? Rogers after that does go back to the hospital. Yeah. But then, before he gets to the hospital, Robert Redford comes in, Alexander Pierce does, and he says, Captain America is now an enemy. Public enemy number one, we're going to arrest him for what he's done. And I think, well, you sure Captain America's going to get but now he's a fugitive, believing that he is responsible for withholding information on Fury's death. Yeah. And you find out, though, that Pierce is actually working with the Masked Man, working with the Winter Soldier, because Winter Soldier has like, you want your milk? No, and they have a talk. He's like, all right, Maria, good night. And then he's talking to her. He's like, you were set up to take out Fury. We need you to take out somebody else. I guess he's telling him to go after Captain America. Telling Winter Soldier to go after Captain America. Then Maria, or his housekeeper comes and he's like, oh, I'm sorry you had to see that. And then bam, bam, shoots her dead. Yeah. But Rogers arrives late at the hospital. The UPS is gone. Barnum appears and he's like, what do you know about this? Are you part of this, Natasha? Asking questions when he talks to the hospital. Think she might have some involvement, and she's like, no, I don't. But I can tell you, I've always trusted Nick Fury. And even though I was a KGB agent, he gave me a life, and I'm a good spy. And she tells him that the masked man, of course, is the Winter Soldier. Well, he's like, well, there's rumors about this guy, but he's more of a ghost. But those that do know of him call him the Winter Soldier. He's known for 2 dozen assassinations over 50 years. Yeah. Until now, I guess we can see him. That she encountered him once before. That she was on a car or whatever, and they were attacked, and she got like shot on the side or whatever of her stomach. Still has that injury. So she says that they go to the Apple store to see if they can access anything valuable. Uh, they pretend to be a couple of these guys like, my name is Ben, whatever his name was. He's like, what? And he's like, Kevin Mary's like, oh, he doesn't recognize me. He's like, well, dude, you got the same glasses. Cap's wearing glasses. You know, kind of like he's Clark Kent, but just to hide, because they have Shield after them, and they can't. It's hard to use the computer, but they have to download the drive information on it. And when this guy asks them, they're like, "Yeah, we're a couple." They just pretend. But as figured, they don't find nothing on it. But they trace the location of the UPS drive. There's a New Jersey, and before Brock can see them, she's like, people get uncomfortable, with people who show affection in public. So she gives Steve a kiss, just to show him, not an attraction toward him. They're still friends, though. Even though in the Ultimate Avengers movie, Avengers and Black Widow, in the Marvel animated feature films, they do become a couple and even have a son. But not in here, sadly, because of Peggy Carter. I'm just kidding. But anyway, they're able to sneak away from the agents, you know. And she teaches Cap to, if you're on the run, just walk slowly, They steal a truck, they drive to location. It's like, wow, Captain America stole a truck. Is that unusual? I think that was a bit of a nod, or just to make fun of the 1990 movie where Captain America would pretend to be sick. Talk about the shitty Captain America movie from 1990, Which, of course, this is better, by the way. Right, they realize that he's at Camp Lynn. That's where he was trained in World War II. That's when he was Skinny Steve. This is like an imagine, or like a memory of, saying, Rogers, I said whole fat. And then it's like Skinny Steve is staring at, the way Steve is now. So, Rogers, come on, where he got his training, where he met Peggy. And then they have pictures of Howard Stark, Tom Lee Jones's character as well. Yeah, who was the Colonel. And in the storage room, they find a modern looking slot and there's UPS in it. The UPS power up and it starts to talk to them. That someone is Marsola, who, if you remember him, he was the scientist for Red Skull. He helped him adapt the weapons, for the Tesseract. Yeah. And Solo is just a computer now. He died a long time ago, but they were able to insert his brain into a computer. He tells them that he was recruited by S.H.I.E.L.D. after World War II after Captain America captured him in 1945. And even though after Red Skull died, he wanted to continue Red Skull's legacy. He helped rebuild Hydra inside S.H.I.E.L.D. However, in the 1970s, where he received the news that his body was dying and with S.H.I.E.L.D. still needing his help, he had his mind transferred into computers. He had been working on an algorithm that Hydra wanted, and he says that Hydra is still, succeeding in taking over the world, you know. And he says Hydra still lives no matter what, Captain. And Captain America's like, no, that's not true. Steve says, you know, Steve says Hydra died with Red Skull. He's like, no, Captain, cut two snakes' head off, and another should take its place. Hell Hydra. He's like, and we would take over the world, and you lost, Captain. You died for nothing. Captain's like, no. And punches the screen. He's like, before I was rudely interrupted, saying that we're going to take over the world now, and I've been stalling, Captain. No. Right now, the Hydra men, the Hellcarriers, are coming to kill you. I've been stalling. It shows them picture of Howard Stark is like those, those that they've interviewed. Apparently, Howard Stark and it was in Civil War. You know what I'm talking about? Howard Stark and I guess Maria Stark, well, his wife. Yeah, this was like in the '90s, where apparently Winter Soldier killed and murdered Tony's parents because Howard Stark, I guess, found something out about Shield, about Hydra. The Hydra was behind them, and he got killed for his troubles. Him and his wife got killed. That his death might not be an accident. Well, it's just applied for now. I'm sorry if I spoiled that ahead. Forgive me. Do not watch this video if you've never seen this movie or Civil War. I just spoiled the heck out of it, so please be aware of that. If I word that at the beginning of the video. Well, I did some point in the video, but anyway, he's also under the Winter Soldier program. The missiles show up, destroys, and he protects her with a shield. They're able to escape. They survive, and they seek refuge with Sam Wilson, who, he's like, guys, if you eat breakfast, he's like, you okay? And Tasha's like, yeah, I'm alright. I guess after shaking up what happened. But he's got a flight suit, of course, the Falcon, that he's a good ally to have. They capture Jasper Silva, who's working with for Hydra. You see him talking about with the Senator, Gary Shandling's character, whatever his name is, the actor's name is that. I'm sorry. And he gives Jasper a call. Anthony Mackie does. Says, look on your left. If you don't, we will shoot you. I guess Natasha's pointing a red gun. It was like, you know, and he's talking to him, was like, to your left. No, you other left. There you go. Wilson calls Sitwell. They force him up on the roof of a tall building. And Cap's like, all right, who's working with Hydra? You know, it can calculate if a person will be a threat in the future based on their past actions. That it can give information out even Natasha's past as well. Silver also tells the three that the Hydra are going to use Project Insight as a weapon to eliminate what they view as threats against themselves and the world, mentioning Tony Stark, Bruce Banner, and Stephen Strange, who of course will become Doctor Strange. So this would mean that millions of innocent, they're going to kill millions. They're going to use the hell carriers, the very ship planes, to put over the United States and the world, and it'll send these bombs down and it'll kill billions of people as they want to have new world order, and in order to do that, they want to take over the world. As Robert says, I wanted to destroy the world to. He says something like destroy the world to build a new one. So I guess this is what Hydra's plan is. And he doesn't answer. Natasha like kicks him off. She's like, and they joke said, "Hey, have you seen anybody lately go on a date with this one girl?" Oh yeah, maybe. And then uh, Falcon grabs them. You know, yeah, and they try to talk to him in the car about more information. They head towards the kill screen, but they get attacked by the Winter Soldier, who there's a few shootouts, and Winter Soldier just he's got that mask on with the goggles, and he's trying to shoot at Natasha Romanoff. Natasha shoots back, shoots his goggles off. He takes the goggles off, goes down to fight, gets nearly killed, but him and Captain America start fighting. He's able to grab the shield again. Well, this time he kicks shield. He kicks them, and they're just fighting. You know, it is quick handed shots, but it's a good fight. You know, he grabs Cap. Tries to choke him. They fight a bit. He even, he's able to punch the shield as well. Tries to throw the shield at Captain America, but doesn't work. Tries to use a knife to cut Captain America. But he towards the Winter Soldier's mask. He's able to, so get the top on him and towards the mask off, and then you see the face of Bucky. He's like, Bucky, Bucky Barnes, my friend, Bucky, and he's gonna shoot him, but Sam attacks him. Falcon attacks him. He's like, Bucky, it's me, Steve. And doesn't recognize him. He's about to try to shoot him again. And then so Tasha shoots him back. But Winter Soldier Barnes escapes. Rogers Romanoff and Wilson get taken into custody. It's like one of the soldiers that want to shoot Captain America in the head. He's like, "I'm not here, not here, not here, not for the camera." They want to take him to jail. And Natasha got shot by the Winter Soldier on the shoulder. He's like, she needs to be fixed here. This person like going to shock them, but this person takes the other shoulder and take off the mask. That's Maria Hill. She then uses a mouse mole to cut a hole in the van and escape with the gang. And they get out before Hydra can try to kill them. Then they go meet up. You find out Nick Fury, spoilers, he's still alive. He was severely injured. He had taken an anti-stress serum developed by Banner that lowered his heartbeat. It was to help him from the Hulk, but it was useful for something. So they had to fake his own death, you know, because they were compromised. And then they meet. So Fury, Hill, Rogers, and Romanoff and Wilson, they all talk what they're going to do. Project Insight is only hours away, and that they have to act quickly. The Hill characters will reach about 3,000 feet in the air in the sky, and they connect to the Insight satellites. Zero all the targets will firing, and if they succeed in that, they will kill Hydra will kill billions of people and basically tear down a world and have a new world of their world order. Basically, the only way to prevent this, they have to use these three special chips that would take away Shield's control over the hero carriers. Steve is upset. He's like, I can't do this because Bucky's his friend. He doesn't want to take down his friend. He has a flashback of you know, that his father died or his parents died, and he's like all alone. He's like, you don't have to be alone, buddy. I'm here with you. It was in the 40s, early 40s, when they were talking, before they became Captain Super Soldiers, Captain America, Winter Soldier. And it's always like, well, because buddy, he tells Steve, because I'm with you at the end of the line. I'm with you, Steve. And he's like, Dude, whatever friend he was then, that guy's gone now. He's enemy now, and you might not leave him a choice. You might have to kill him. Just to protect the world, you might have to make that sacrifice. I'm sorry. And she's like, well, I gotta get the right suit. And he steals this suit that is the original Captain America suit. Before I showed the you came with Stan Lee, sees the suit, like, oh boy, I am so fired. That was funny. I thought, and that was a cameo once again by Stan Lee. Love all his cameos in the Marvel movies, regardless if you don't like, if some of them you don't like. But anyway, Cap wears the suit, and that's awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Bucky. Well, apparently what happened, I guess, Solo did some experiments on Barnes. It's like, hello, Commander Barnes, and did some experiments on him that made him into the Winter Soldier. They gave him a mechanic arm, and he's a super soldier serum too. So like Captain America, that's why he can catch his shield and fight fast as he does. Because he nearly has the strength of his son, especially with his metal arm. When Winter Soldier falls off the car, he uses his metal arm and just. But what they do is just mess with his mind and make him their soldier. So if Hydra had any big threats against them for their plans, their future plans for world domination or to take over, make the world theirs or whatever, if anybody would figure that out, that includes Howard Stark or Nick Fury or anybody else, they would send Winter Soldier to kill them off, to assassinate them. So basically, it's like Hydra has their own personal super soldier, and they made Bucky into it. And when Bucky fell off the train, they messed with his memory. They overuse him now, and now in the year 2014, he still is used. They fix up his metal arm because I guess he lost his arm when he, fell off the cliff, or they just cut it off. But anyway, he's like, he knew me. How's that guy know me? And Robert Redford like bitch slaps him, and it's like, you're still a good soldier. You're still fighting for your country. And they're able to like shock his mind a bit, you know. And they put him on ice too for a while, so they had to brainwash him again. The members of the World Security Council arrive at Tresca. They arrive at Shield headquarters, whatever you want to call it, to have a talk with Pierce. Rogers, Wilson, Hill. They break into the headquarters. They take control of the communication systems, and Rogers does this great speech, which I can't do. But like, it's really Hydra. Might be somebody with you, and nobody knows who to trust. And Brock tries to get this guy. He says, now get it done. Is there a problem? Start the shield. Get the haircut. Push the button to start. He's like, I can't do that, sir. He's on Shieldman. Emily, who of course is not Shield, once again has a head. But then like he pushes her away or something. But there's more fights going on. She saves the guy from getting killed, and they all have a shootout, which she survives, by the way. Rumlin, you know, but Rumlin manages to get this. He works on the computer, gets it to the sky. Pierce pulls a gun on Councilman Singh. He's like, "You're working with me now." He's gonna shoot one guy, one actor who's actually from The Dark Knight. But anyway, the councilwoman is actually Romanoff is actually Romanoff in disguise, using like a fake mask or whatever. She begins to upload all Shield and Hydra's secure files to the internet. Pierce held at gunpoint and informs Romanoff two alpha level clearance appearances are required for that. He's like, of course. And then this when Nick Fury is like, you try to kill me. He's like, well, Nick, I did it for the best. I'm sorry. He's like, well, you need to keep your eye on the ball. And that's when he shows him his eyes. Yeah. But anyway, Fury and Pearson scan the retnets, their eyeballs. It was Romanoff to upload the files. Rogers and Wilson managed to fight. We kept wearing the suit. Cap runs, Cap, fights with people with a shield, which is cool. And you have Wilson flying around, Falcon flying around fighting a bit. That's cool. But eventually they get attacked by Barnes. He kicks Captain America off the hair carrier. He's still on there. He just kind of gets, you know, Anthony Mackie. Falcon pulls out two machine guns, tries to shoot at him, but he's able to get him down. And eventually Steve is able to go to one hair carrier, put a chip disc in there, and Falcon does the other. They just need one more. the final chip, but he gets confronted by Buggy like, Buggy, please, I don't want to fight you. Please don't make me do this, please. I don't want to fight you, but then they start fighting, of course. He tries to remind Barnes of his past as his friend, but Barnes isn't listening. He's like, I don't know you. And they keep on fighting. Eventually, they end up on the windows or the mirrors of the hair carrier fighting a bit. He's like, you're Bucky Barnes. The CEO's like, I don't know you. They fight more. But meanwhile, Pierce refuses to be taken in and uses his mobile device to trigger the small device and the security badges of the other council members, killing them. And he do the same thing to Romanoff. He's spared. She gets spared. He uses the device on the security badge to threaten her, lower their weapons. Yeah. But, he's going to make Natasha her take off. He's like, you'll be my hostage. But she uses the machine on herself. She uses the device on herself. Doesn't kill her, by the way. But it gives Nick Fury before he can try to shoot Nick Fury. Nick pow, shoots. And falls on, crashes on the window. Glass breaks. And he's like, hell, Hydra. And Robert First character dies in the movie. Hydra's very close to killing billions of people. But Steve eventually able to get that chip in there, puts it in there in time before it gets to 1 second. He's like, they fight more. He's like, I'm not gonna fight you. Takes his mask off and even throws his shield out the window. He's like, you are my mission. He's like, no, I'm your friend. I'm your good friend, and I'm with you to the end. And that's somewhat makes Winter Soldier Bucky recognize him. I guess you can say. Yeah. Oh yeah, Anthony Mackie, who after fighting Winter Soldier, he finds out where Brock is going, and they fight. Eventually, the character crashes them. Anthony Mackie jumps on the plane. Well, these doors don't have a number on them. Samuel Jackson says, but they save Anthony Mackie. Uh, Brock doesn't die, but he does get injured real bad. Roger then falls in the walls about. Roger falls into the waters about to drown, but Bucky saves him and just walks away. Even though Brock is, under the rubble, but he's later seen attended by doctors. The senator, the hated Tony Stark, Senator um, Barry Sanders kind of gets arrested, and all the Shield Act, and all the Hydra gets arrested. Fury gets officially dead, so he burns have his own place down. Destroyed all the evidence of being alive. He dishes his eye patch even more for sunglasses because he's got to pretend to be dead after this happened. He tells him, somebody asked me, Fury wants Roger to tell anybody that he's dead. Romanoff appears in a hearing, but says, you're not going to arrest me because I'm an Avenger and you're going to need me. And they talk at the end. She's like, well, good luck, Steve. That he's going after Bucky. They part ways. She has to find a new identity because of they had to pretend to be dead after get new identities, and Fury has to fake his death because of their lives being threatened because of what Hydra has done. So Shield is done completely. Even if Steve's in the hospital, uh, Anthony Mackie plays a Marvin Gaye song. Roger looks at the file. Wilson realizes that he's going to look for Barnes so that he can convince him of who he really is. Roger tells him that he doesn't have to go with it. He replies, well, I do, I know. When do we start? And then the movie ends there. Then, and then two press credit scenes, you have Baron Strucker who's holding this scepter that has the Tesseract in it, you know, in a base in Soviet Russia, I guess, saying that the Hydra agents worldwide, and then walks over to the pair and says, "This is the age of miracles. One of the cells contain a man who's running around. That is, of course, uh, you know, Quicksilver, and Wanda Maximoff are, Scarlet Witch. Before she Scarlet Witch, that's when you see Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson. It sets up for the next movie, Avengers: Age of Ultron. And then you at the end credits, you have meanwhile you have Barnes just as the villain closing. He goes to the Smithsonian institution, which is Captain America is dedicated to him, and he realizes who he is. He's trying to figure who's Bucky. He's just on the run himself, having to hide, and That was a great ending. Those two first credit scenes. It's setting up for the first Avenger. I mean, not the first Avenger. Avengers: Age of Ultron, and of course Civil War. We won't see Bucky until Civil War. So yeah, and he's just hiding, trying to find out who he is, and trying to remain hiding and hide his arm, his mechanical arm somehow. And then the movie ends there. Yeah, with Steve promising to find his friend eventually. But it does take him a while to track down Bucky. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna read some quotes real quick. I know we're 1 hour 15 minutes in. On your left, even when I had nothing, I had Bucky. Before we get started, does anyone want to get out? Let me ask you a question. What if Pakistan marched into Mumbling tomorrow and knew they were going to drag your daughters into Star Stadium for execution? You could stop it with a flick of a switch, wouldn't you? Last words are Hail Hydra. This man declined the Nobel Peace Prize. He said that peace is not an achievement but a responsibility. See, it's stuff like this that gives me trust issues. Last time I trust somebody, trust someone, I lost an eye. Wilson, don't say it, don't you say it. Oh, you're left. Come on. You don't do anything fun on Saturday night. Well, the guys from my barbershop court are dead, so no, not. Coming up with a drop zone, Cap. If you ask Christian out from status, she'll probably say yes. That's why I don't ask. Too shy, too scared, too busy. Was he wearing a parachute? You should be proud of yourself. No, he wasn't. You should be proud of yourself, Peggy. I don't want to mention Peggy. Who the hell is Bucky? I know who killed you, who killed Mary, who know who killed her. Most of the intelligence community doesn't believe he exists. The ones who do call him the Winter Soldier. He's credited with over 2 dozen assassinations in the last 50 years. So he's a ghost story. 5 years ago, I was escorted to a nuclear engineer about Iran. Somebody shot out my tires. Anyway, we're in 1 hour 16 minutes in. I think I'm gonna be done with this review tonight. Yeah. But anyway, guys, let me give a final opinion. I'm about to be done. Just let me give my quick final opinion on this movie. I know, but hey, this movie deserves a in-depth review, in my opinion. So anyway, to sum it up, let me get this out of the way. Captain America: Winter Soldier. I love this movie. This is a great movie. This is my favorite Captain America movie. You know what? I'll go ahead and say it's the best Captain America movie. It's definitely one of the best superhero sequels out there, in my opinion. I would say with Superman 2, the Lester version, Batman Returns. Yes, I do think Batman Returns is one of the best sequels ever. I would say, fuck yeah, I want to say it. I think he's an awesome sequel. It's underrated. And so is, like I said, Superman 2, Batman Returns, X2, X-Men United, Spider-Man 2. You know, no, not Iron Man 2. I'm sorry, I would say Iron Man 2 is. Well, I would say Iron Man 2, one of my favorite superhero sequels out there. For a second outing, it's really good. Well, no, I would say Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 is good, but I do feel like they have some problems that they could have worked on a little bit in that movie. You know, but what I love about this movie, this is why I think it's one of the best superhero movies of all time, is because of the story. Because I'm invested in the story. I love the story. The story is very engaging. I like how it's a political spy thriller. Yeah, and they changed the game with this one. They changed it completely. You don't have to have magic in every Marvel movie. I give a Shane Black is saying, but still, what you did is in Iron Man 3. The reason Iron Man 3 this is better than Iron Man 3 because number one, it has a better story. We see the guy in the suit. It's just got a better story, and a better villain. They don't make the villain into a joke. Winter Soldier is a threat. They don't play him for laughs. And Robert Redford, his character is a main threat. He's crazy, he's insane, and he plays that very well. They don't make a joke out of the characters, and they have a good story. Iron Man 3 did have good action in there, I will admit, but still, this had better action as well, I think. I love the story of how Steve Rogers, Captain America, he's having to live in the modern day world of having to get used to, doing things differently. Like what do you eat, what do you watch, what music you can listen to these days. He's kind of adjusting to the world, and I like seeing that he's working with Shield. He's not doing it because he loves Shield. He's doing it to protect people, to help people, because he's still a hero. He's still a patriotic hero. You know, yeah, these movies are great to watch, and especially in July because he's a very patriotic character. And it's still badass when Captain America fights with somebody. And him and the Winter Soldier fights are awesome. I love Winter Soldier caught it. You know, like I said, the editing can use a little work. The editing it was choppy a little bit in most places, but it wasn't like the RoboCop remake where it just bugged me or any other movie where it's just no. It was still good action. When you just watch it clearly, you will see some good action in there. And again, I will defend the editing though mostly because again, Captain America is a super soldier, so he's gonna move real quick. Cap can move really fast. you know. But I think, the story was really good. I think the Russo brothers did a great job directing this movie. They gave us some fantastic spy thriller, Fantastic Four. No wonder why they directed Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame, because Marvel trusted them, because Marvel knew that they knew how to make a great movie. Yeah, and you do get the guy in plenty and him in the suit fighting is what you want. You know, I like Thor: The Dark World. It does have an interesting story, but the villain was the weakest point. Some of the humor didn't work completely 100% of the time in that movie. Yeah, but the action was good. It's just it needed a better villain. But with Thor, you do have to add magical stuff in there. Makes sense. Yeah. But the screenplay by Chris Marks and Steve, they did a great job writing. The cast, Chris Evans is Captain America, no doubt. He does a great job. Scarlett Johansson, Sebastian Stan coming back as Bucky, Winter Soldier. He did a fantastic job. I felt sorry for Bucky. I won't call him a villain. He's a tragic character, just like, you know, but even worse than Steve, because even though Steve was in 70 years and lost most of his life, so did Bucky. He's being tortured by Hydra. They torture him. They force him to do. Yeah, he does kill a couple of people. And in the climax of the movie, he's shooting and shoots one guy and he kills most of the good guys in the movie. But that's because Hydra, he's their personal super soldier because they brainwash him. He's not a villain. But he does become a hero a little later on in the movie. Yeah, and I'm sure he lives with that regret. But that's not Bucky's fault. Bucky was just being controlled by Hydra. You know, and I get why Steve doesn't want to fight him because it's his best friend. Bucky's like his brother from another mother, so he wants to protect his friend. You know, didn't care for Haley when she's near, but at least I have Emily Van Camp, who was gorgeous, and Scarlett Johansson, uh, Chloe Smollett, beautiful women, great actresses in my opinion. I wasn't gonna say great actresses; they have that too, but they're good actresses. They're beautiful and they can act. Yes, yeah. Chloe Smollett's great. Toby Jones, rest of the cast, Samuel Jackson, Bob Burford is a great actor. They're both, it's Samuel Jackson's John. I can't barely speak, sorry, mumbling. But they're great. Cinematography looks nice. Although the action as he looks, the film, the story I'm invested in. It's a really good story. The action scenes are awesome. The CGI, the special effects are really good. 2014 looks good and the action is awesome. It's top notch. The story is very engaging. It keeps you invested. It's 2 hours 16 minutes long, folks, but believe me, if you are one of those folks if you're one of those people that likes good stories that you can get invested in with a movie that keeps you like, wow, keeps me watching because you're invested. It's not like Superman in the movie. It has a very it takes a while for Superman into the picture, but I'm invested in the story, and just like this movie, I'm invested in the story and the characters. That's the thing about superhero movies. You have to have a great story. Spider-Man 2, X2, United, they have great stories. Superman 2, Batman Returns. It's an ensemble film, but they have this. Not Superman 2, but despite so much lesser version, it has a good story. That's what I'm talking about. Superman the movie, it has a good story. Superhero movies and action movies, you have to have a great story. The music score by Hugh Jackman is fine. I do personally, I'd like Helen Silvestri's score better, but it's okay to change the music though. It's a sequel. They change music with sequels sometimes. It happens. Yeah, and for the running time, it felt like it was fast paced. I was engaging in the story. Yeah, the movie does take its time with this takes time with the story, but not too long, too much time. It keeps you invested, keeps you watching. Like, what the heck is going on here? Why is he getting killed? And Hydra. It just and then when the story unfolds, you just want to see the story unfold more and more, and it involves the more it unfolds, the more it keeps you watching and invested. So yeah. But despite that, this is a great movie. My favorite Captain America movie, the best Captain America movie, and one of the best superhero films out there in my opinion. I do think the editing could use a little work most of the time, but despite that, it's still good action. If one thing I say, First Avenger did have a bit better editing in there, yeah, you know. But again, I get it. If you want to go realism, don't go realism too much, okay? Don't be like the Dark Knight. You don't need to be like that. This is better than the Dark Knight, though, in my opinion. Yes, Heath Ledger was great. The rest of that movie can get pretty boring, and yeah, this film didn't bore me at all. It's great from start to finish. So my rating for Captain America: The Winter Soldier is a thumbs up and a 5 out of 5 stars. So guys, let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of Captain America: The Winter Soldier in your opinion? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Is it your favorite Captain America movie? What's your least favorite Captain America movie? What do you think of this film in your opinion? Alright, guys. Stay tuned for next review. Might be tomorrow. Sorry. Got to go to Walmart today, and I went to Planet Comics today, like I said earlier. But anyway, guys, this is going to be another revisit review. I have this one, two more coming up. That is starring Andrew Garfield, Emma Watson, Jamie Foxx, Dan DeHaan, and Paul Giamatti, and Sally Field. That is a revisit review for the 2014 sequel, which is underrated in my opinion. That is, or maybe I'll hate the movie. I don't know yet, but that will be for The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So The Amazing Spider-Man 2 will be next. That'll be my next revisit review. So stay tuned for The Amazing Spider-Man 2, guys. This will be next. Once again, my rating for Captain America: The Winter Soldier is 5 out of 5 stars and a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down, guys. Once again, 5 out of 5 stars is my rating for this film. Let me know in the comments down below, guys. What do you think of this film? Sorry for the long review, but I love talking about this movie. It's just so awesome, so good in my opinion. But let me know what you think about The Winter Soldier in your opinion. Do you like it? Do you hate it? And stay tuned for my revisit review for The Amazing Spider-Man 2 coming up next. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next revisit review for The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye. Have a good one. Stay safe. Bye bye.